Seakings. For hundreds or perhaps thousands of years, these gigantic monsters have roamed the seas of the One Piece world.
These creatures are truly fascinating. They present a colossal mystery, and people around the world fear them.
Nobody knows their origin or where they came from.
Just what is the reason for their existence within the world of One Piece?
Could their sole purpose be to serve as weapons of mass destruction?
Is it possible that Seakings themselves are products of fantasy, or were they bioengineered in the past? Why are there no further records about them in the historic archives? Millions of One Piece fans around the world believe that Seakings are weapons of mass destruction under the command of the ancient weapon Poseidon. But what if there's more to them? Are Seakings merely giant fish that happen to exist within the world of One Piece? And are the reasons for their existence truly that mysterious? The Calm Belt. For over 1,000 chapters, Seakings were barely mentioned. There have been only few instances where we actually see them. The mystery surrounding them remains unsolved to this day.
If you think about it, we see these creatures in the intros and outros of One Piece so often, but Eiichiro Oda himself barely implemented them into the story.
In Chapter 1, we can see the Lord of the Coast as it emerges from the sea to devour Higuma. It is during this encounter that red-haired Shanks loses his left arm while protecting Luffy from the giant beast.
The explanation for how Shanks lost his arm to the Sea King is still unclear. Someone who later became a Yonko in the pirate world should have been able to survive such a situation unharmed. Is it possible that we are overlooking something? Could Sea Kings potentially bypass Shanks' future sight?
Why, I think that's entirely possible.
I heard that Shanks lost his arm because an editor of Eiichiro Oda told him that the story was not interesting enough at that point. Initially, Oda planned to leave Shanks unharmed, but after his advisor made this comment, he decided to have one of Shanks' arms cut off for the added drama.
Is it possible that supporting this content creator by liking the video and subscribing to the channel can greatly benefit them? According to avid watchers of ancient One Piece YouTube theories, the answer is a resounding yes. What are the facts we know about Seakings, and what can they tell us about other unsolved mysteries within the world of One Piece?
It's truly astonishing. These sea monsters roam the oceans for such extended periods, yet it's baffling that nobody has seriously considered delving into their research.
The Calm Belts, located at the rim of the Grand Line, are the two areas of ocean that border the north and south of the Grand Line. These waters are devoid of any currents or winds, making it impossible for non-self-propelled ships to travel through. But as if these mysterious circumstances weren't enough, they are also the nesting grounds for the world's largest Sea Kings.
Why do most of them prefer to live in the seas? Is it because there are usually no ships there, enabling them to live in peace? Or is there a chance that they are actually guarding something within the Calm Belt?
It is here that the Strawhead Pirates have their first encounter with the so-called rulers of the ocean. These creatures come in various shapes and forms, and none of them is the same.
When we look at these creatures, one thing becomes clear. As far as we can tell for now, none of them are the same. They vary in appearance, ranging from birds and fish to insect-like beings. There are even amphibious ones among them.
Despite their eerily frightening looks and the fact that Seakings are classified as big savage, type C creatures, they did not seem too hostile towards the Strawhead's crew. Only when Usopp fell off the ship did one frog-like monstrosity appear, as if it were about to devour him. But is it possible that the frog was merely surprised and not actually interested in swallowing the King of Snipers alive?
Clearly, this frog-like Sea King was simply trying to communicate and greet us. We have compelling evidence suggesting that they are sentient beings.
Do we need to differentiate between small and big Sea Kings? Throughout the story, we have seen several smaller monstrosities being aggressive towards humans and ships, while the larger ones seem to be more peaceful. But when it comes to battle, can these giant fish be brought down? Ancient One Piece theorists say yes.
Oh my, there have been several incidents where the Seakings were defeated. Right at the beginning of the story in Chapter 1, for example, Luffy knocked out the Lord of the Coast. Silvers Rayleigh also killed several of them with his bare hands while swimming through the combats, no less. And let's not forget that the Banana Wani are considered to be the natural predators of the Seakings, although this may apply more to smaller versions, I'll give you that. The gorillas, Yuda, and giants are also honorable mentions. I could go on like this forever.
In chapter 612, we witness the appearance of the ancient weapon Poseidon for the first time, embodied by the mermaid princess Shirahoshi. It is she who possesses the power to command the Seakings for reasons that remain unknown. This ability to lead the giant monsters has been passed down through the generations of the royal fishman family, as before Shirahoshi, it was Poseidon herself who controlled them during the Void Century. However, after her death, she disappeared from the records, with the only information about her found on the Shandora and Ryugu poneglyphs.
We still don't know what happened to the original Poseidon. Was she the initial bearer of this power? And how is such a trait transmitted through the bloodline? It appears reminiscent of manipulating the lineage factor akin to how we manipulate DNA in our own world. Or could it be attributed to a genuinely magical phenomenon?
In the story, we saw Shirahoshi as a young girl, calling the Seakings to aid her mother. She did the same a few years later when Luffy defeated Hody and was about to destroy Noah, a giant ship resting on the ocean floor, waiting for its purpose. At the moment the princess wished to help Luffy, the Seakings appeared and prevented the Noah from falling. It is at this moment that we learn that the Seakings can communicate via telepathy.
Just imagine the immense power that a person wields when they possess the ability to control the Seakings and communicate with them. It's truly frightening.
Later, we discover that those who can hear the voice of all things are also able to understand the Seakings. But if there are more people who can hear the words of these mysterious beings, does that mean there are more connections that date back to the time long before the Void Century?
Yes, why not?
In our world, according to legends, Poseidon was said to be able to create tsunamis with his trident. Is it possible that there are parallels between our world and the one of One Piece? Could the Seakings be capable of creating storms and sinking entire islands? Ancient One Piece theorists say yes. In chapter 626, Shirahoshi's late mother, Queen Otohime, talks about the power of the ancient weapon. If used incorrectly, the power that Shirahoshi possesses is great enough to sink the entire world beneath the waves. The Seakings themselves address the one with the power of Poseidon as their queen. However, even they don't know why their leader always takes the form of a mermaid. 800 years ago, they made a promise to their queen to tow the ship Noah when the time comes. But whatever deal Joy Boy made with the Fishman Island and Poseidon, he failed to fulfill his end of the bargain, and the enormous ship was never used.
The entire Void Century remains a big question mark. There is one person in the story who could possibly shed some light on the matter, but Nico Robin remains silent until today. I want to know why the Seakings exist, why they agreed to tow Noah, and which clan they were referring to when they brought the ship back to the sea forest.
Why do the Seakings all look so different? What is the reason for their variations in their sizes? How is it that some of them leave the Calm Belt and occupy different regions, such as the Lord of the Coast and the Master of the Waters?
If you pay attention, you will notice that Lord of the Coast and Master of the Waters are just other words for King of the Sea, also known as Sea Kings.
For centuries, the Seakings made it impossible to traverse the Calm Belt, but recently, the world's brilliant Dr. Vegapunk made a groundbreaking discovery. He found Dead Sea Stone amidst the same aura as the sea and advised the Marines to coat their ship hulls with this rare material. As a result, the Seakings now ignore these ships as they perceive them to be non-existent. Furthermore, the renowned shipwright Tom devised a way to enable travel between Water 7 and its neighboring islands. The sea train creates a sound that repels the Seakings, making safe passage possible. These remarkable innovations have revolutionized navigation through the treacherous Calm Belt.
Indeed, it is truly perplexing how Vegapunk and Tom came up with these innovative solutions. Vegapunk's genius is well known, but the creation of the repelling noise by Tom raises questions. Was it deliberate invention? Or perhaps just a fortunate coincidence?
While these measures are necessary to keep the Seakings at bay in the Calm Belt, it raises the questions of why they do not attack towns or cities along the coast. Why do they not wreak havoc on Fishman Island?
It's incredibly peculiar. On 2 separate occasions, we have witnessed these colossal creatures approaching the homes of the fishmen. In both times, they displayed remarkable caution and thoughtfulness. This behavior doesn't align with our typical understanding of them as wild beasts. Furthermore, various panels in the manga indicate that they possess sentience and possess a wealth of knowledge about the world's history, far surpassing our own. This raises the question, just how ancient are these creatures?
Is it possible that the Seakings were specifically created to guard the Calm Belt? And if so, why do smaller versions deviate from their duty and harass people in the 4 seas? Could it be that larger Seakings were successful products of bioengineering through lineage factors, while the smaller ones were unsuccessful attempts? Ancient One Piece theorists suggest that this might be the case.
Well, when you consider the diverse races in the One Piece universe, giants, space people, sky people, merfolk, humans, minx, dwarves, and many more, it opens up the possibility that the Seakings could be scientific constructs. We know from Vegapunk's revelations that there was once a great kingdom with technological advancements far beyond what we have today. Given this knowledge, it is entirely plausible to speculate that the Seakings were indeed created through advanced scientific means.
Could it be that the Seakings are also responsible for intriguing phenomena like the warm eddy that captured Bonnie in chapter 1060 and the giant whirlpools surrounding the ship of the man with the burned scar? Or could it be that these creatures originated from within the planet and emerged from the big hole at Eni's lobby? Is it possible that they have a hand in causing the Aqua Laguna phenomenon? According to ancient One Piece theorists, the answer is a resounding yes.
Absolutely. The colossal creatures residing in the ocean, with their immense power capable of sinking the entire world, could very well have the ability to create whirlpools, warm eddies, and even cause phenomena like Aqua Laguna. If they are not creations of science, it is indeed plausible to consider the possibility that they originated from within the planet itself. Just like Pluton, which the esteemed One Piece theorist Dax Sake believes to be the colossal mole, the connections between these ancient mysteries are intriguing to explore.
Could it be that the Seakings in the world of One Piece embody the concepts of the great old ones found in H.P. Lovecraft's books? These awe-inspiring and ancient creatures, much like Cthulhu, Shub-Niggurath, Azathoth, and Yog-Sothoth, hold immense power and invoke a sense of terror. Is it conceivable that Eiichiro Oda derived inspiration from Lovecraft's great old ones to create the enigmatic and formidable Seakings within the One Piece narrative?
Just take a look at them. They are enormous. Some of these creatures are almost the size of islands themselves.
Alternatively, is it worth considering whether Eiichiro Oda drew inspiration from ancient sea maps, which frequently depicted fearsome creatures such as great serpents and other monstrous beings, serving as warnings to sailors about the perils of venturing into unknown waters? These depictions aim to evoke a sense of fear and caution. Could it be that Oda found inspiration in these historical representations to create the mysterious and intimidating Seakings in the world of One Piece.
I think the Seakings in One Piece may not match the terrifying descriptions of Lovecraftian horror. It is possible that Oda incorporated certain elements from Lovecraft's works into their design, but the overall portrayal differs significantly. It is more plausible to speculate that Oda took inspiration from the depictions found in old sea maps.
In chapter 92, Sanji made an intriguing observation, noting that the enraged eyes of Arlong resembled those of a Sea King. This leads us to ponder whether there is a connection between the Sea Kings and the Merfolk. Could it be that Seakings have their origin in the Merfolk species? One plausible explanation for the Seakings' reverence towards the mermaid with the power of Poseidon is that there exists a deep ancestral link between them. It is conceivable that this ability, which grants control of the Seakings, is inherently tied to the Merfolk lineage. This may explain why it has consistently manifested in the form of a mermaid throughout history. If the Merfolk and the Seakings share a common ancestry, it opens up a world of possibilities regarding their intricate relationship and the deeper mysteries surrounding their existence.